Hey, what's going on, guys? James here bringing you another YouTube video, and this one is going to be another Universe Reactions video because, again, as I've said in the last few, I just really have been enjoying doing this. But now it's going to be something I'm not going to enjoy because it's time to talk about the awful invasion story I tried to run. Oh, God, this is not going to be fun. Not going to be fun whatsoever. But, again, in case you didn't see the last reaction and you don't want to go and watch it, so when I say bad invasion story, I started an invasion storyline where Eric Bischoff came back, bought the WWE out from under Vince McMahon, and he brought in Nitro, turned the clock back and made Raw's War, brought in Velocity as like a developmental show. And that's what we did, admittedly. And it all stemmed because of, like, just technical difficulties. Because of the editor I was using at the time, which was Movie Maker, and because, again, I was just starting to very slowly get a very basic grasp on editing at the time. Because of that, I didn't want to do the pay-per-view in multiple parts. So, and because of how long it was going to take to render, I just didn't have that kind of time, I guess. I don't know. No, I was just dumb and stubborn and refused to do multiple parts when that was the best way to do it for me at the time, but whatever. So I decided, okay, I'll do a couple of parts, have Bischoff come in, do an announcement, buy the WWE somehow, and then, yeah, we'll do this, and we'll roll with it. And it was dumb. Shouldn't have done it, but that's all you really need to know. We're not going to look at the what just happened here, because that's a short video where I was essentially doing my best What Culture wrestling impression at the time. Because all the great guys that were What Culture were still there at the time. This doesn't matter. It's kind of just going over some stuff with how it's going to run at that point. We're not going to watch the Raw's War intro because it's awful. It's better than the intros I made for Raw and SmackDown at the time, but that's not saying much because they're awful. And the first actual episode kicking off, again, ignore the episode numbers. I messed it up at the time because technically originally I had episode 7, episode 8 for the Extreme Rules pay-per-views, but I realized, well, that's not really fair because it's the same episode technically, so I did part 1 and part 2 there. So yeah, I had 8 matches and I said part out of 7. What was I doing at the time? God damn. Anyway, really, it's episode 8 or something. Anyway, not the point. What I'm trying to say is, this was called Raw is Rated R, and I don't know if I'll watch all the episodes. I was thinking about doing the entire invasion in one video, so to get it out of the way, because I don't want to spend a bunch of time on it. Anyway, so if we're looking at it, so Raw is Rated R in Toronto. By the way, that was not planned by any means. You actually couldn't plan that on the last-gen versions of the game. It wasn't until 2K16 on the PS4, when they brought back Create an Arena for that you could do, choose, like, the location. But you couldn't do it on the PS3 and 360. So I just got really lucky with the segment that I was doing here, because it involves Edge. But Eric Bischoff, the guy who had just bought the WWE out from the McMahons, he made an announcement riding out on a bike, and before he can even say anything, Edge comes out, interrupts him, because that started because obviously I wanted to run with Edge and Christian. This is also Edge's technically, like, both debut into the series and return to wrestling. Anyway, so yeah, did that. And I wanted to roll with Edge and Christian, and I had Bischoff show blatant disrespect to Christian and put him in the developmental show instead of being on, like, Raw or Nitro or whatever, which pissed off Edge, and he was defending his best friend's honor. So that's how I did that there. Not really a whole lot to say. Again, Edge, we'll watch it back. Ignore that Bischoff is busted open somehow. I wasn't good with subtle details. Yeah. He comes out, attacks Bischoff, execution, spear, gets some revenge, and due to that, I think I bring it up, maybe?
Bischoff has gotten rid of my show, SmackDown, brought back WCW, and has made Tyson the general manager of both WCW and Raw's War.
Which, I guess another thing to add to that as well, that wasn't even the original plan that I was going to roll with once I decided to do the Invasion story either. Originally, it was just going to be Raw and Nitro, which I realized later on, I probably should have done Nitro on Mondays, because why the hell would Bischoff put Nitro on, like, Thursdays at the time? That doesn't make sense. So I probably should have done SmackDown and Nitro, but whatever. Again, whatever, it's fine. But yeah, Raw and Nitro both happening at the same time. And I didn't plan on doing any developmental or velocity or anything like that. But I don't know, like, I decided, no, I don't want to have myself removed from this when it was my idea in the first place. But yeah. Let's see. Do I explain the thing with Edge and Bischoff? The rest of the cards for the Invasion story don't matter, because I'd even do a full month. There's actually 2 weeks of the original universe missing, because I fast-tracked it immediately to the pay-per-view after like 2 weeks. The only thing that really matters for this episode is the main event. And I'm sure I explained it, so let's see how I explained it.
Show, Eric Bischoff has put Edge in a no disqualification handicap match against the Brothers of Destruction. And that, oof. Don't make the boss mad. Don't cross the boss, as they always say.
Okay.
But Edge is the ultimate opportunist, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a few things up his sleeve going into that match.
Could I be any more obvious that Christian was going to get involved? I feel like it was pretty obvious. Maybe it's because I know it's coming, but like I feel like that was pretty obvious. I don't know. Like, but yeah. So that's what I did, and I originally wanted to do, and it's a story that never got concluded, by the way. But what I wanted to do was have Undertaker and Kane, like, have Bischoff have like some dirt on him or something, and he was forcing them to be essentially like his lapdogs, doing what he wanted. That's what Bischoff did here. Brothers of Destruction versus Edge. And yeah, like I said, that's all that really matters. Besides, T.I.'s and Kurt Angle actually put on a pretty damn good match for, like, it was me versus the AI, but on, like, the PS3 version of the game. It was a pretty good match, actually. But yeah, all that really matters is Edge versus the Brothers of Destruction. Edge tries to fight and hold his own, but obviously Brothers of Destruction beat the man down until eventually they're on the outside.
Undertaker takes him down from behind. Wow. And Edge is just getting destroyed right now.
And then, because I had no actual concept on how to properly edit, I immediately just jump cut from outside to Christian being in the ring, no entrance, no nothing. But Christian comes out
Christian here?
and immediately takes out Kane.
Kill switch. Kill switch.
Kill switch, unpretty, or whatever you want to call it.
Christian,
followed up with a spear.
Spear on Kane! Spear!
And naturally, that will lead into the finish.
And spear! 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 1, 2, 3, no!
I forgot he kicked out. I forgot he kicked out.
Oh, Edge, spear out of midair!
Wow.
Spear out of midair! 2, 3, and the right.
Yeah. So that's all that really matters. Again, for this episode, like, that's all that matters. Edge and Christian beat the Brothers of Destruction, with Edge, of course, getting the win in the handicap match because Christian came down and helped him. Like I said, that's all that really mattered for this first episode of Raw. I I'm not gonna praise anything. Really, I'm not. I think the concept of like Edge and Christian versus Brothers of Destruction in a universe mode or something, I think that can be cool. But like, other than that, like, I'm not gonna praise anything. Besides, the Invasion story is where I started the character for TI's called the Future, because that was actually my idea. And I liked the gimmick of that. I thought that was cool. And he'd have kind of like a cool little mini feud with Kurt Angle from what I remember. But yeah, like, other than that, again, I'm not going to praise anything. I hate this a lot. But yeah, like I said, that's the only thing to really take from this. Edge attacked Bischoff. Bischoff tried to get some revenge by sending the Brother of Destruction. Christian comes out, helps Edge, and Edge gets a win. And from there, we go to the first episode of Nitro called Invasions. Which I didn't even build up to the invasions or anything. The very first episode of Nitro, nothing happens on Raw, and then first episode of Nitro, Raw superstars invade. So, like, so let's see, Bischoff put Neville on Nitro, and Kofi attacks, oh wait, yeah, and Kofi who was on Raw. Yeah. Which I didn't show or allude to or anything, but Kofi from Raw takes out Neville in the back. The only praise I have for this is, from a player standpoint, it was fun to do the backstage brawls, but other than that, and Neville, it knocks him out too. Are you kidding me? What? I wasn't playing as Neville, was I? No, I wasn't. I just let Kofi get knocked out, and I didn't record it or anything. What? Bruh. German on the floor, knocked out. So, one, I didn't even get the right result that I wanted anyway, and Neville knocks out Kofi. And then we move through, this was Randy Orton and... No, it was Triple H and The Rock taking out Nitros, Mark Henry and Randy Orton. So yeah, they did that, and that one I do remember. I did win. I do remember that one. So yeah. He knocked him out by throwing him on the floor? What? Okay, I do like this one. So Goldust comes out, and then Goldust and Stardust. Because I think it was supposed to be like, I don't know. I don't remember what the match was supposed to be. But yeah, Goldust and Stardust, that's always cool. Goldust attacks his little brother. And then I just cut like nothing happened. And then Seth and Dean Ambrose. Seth was on Nitro and Ambrose was on Raw. And then oh no. Like I said, did I have that one? And I could have swore I had one guy get thrown through the glass panel, but whatever. No. Head against the wall. No, maybe not. Did I knock him on it? Bruh. So yes, invasions that happened, that's all you need to know. Nothing actually mattered. Kofi Kingston, Mark Mark Henry, Kofi Kingston, The Rock, Triple H, Dean Ambrose, and Goldust came from Raw to attack people on Nitro. That's what happened. Then we go to Velocity, and nothing important actually happened on either of the episodes of Velocity, to be honest. So yeah. And then again, we had a rematch between T.I.S. and Kurt Angle. It's actually not letting me see what I'm skimming to at this point, but yeah. We had a rematch there, and like I said, nothing else really mattered, you know? I didn't even play the match. Rhino and Ken Shamrock. Nice. And then Jeff Hardy and John Cena. Like, the match itself is fine. But then, let's see. But then Jeff, I think, was setting up for the Swanton, maybe. I think so.
Oh, thrown into the corner. And
yep, Whisper in the Wind.
Whisper in the Wind. And now finally, he's setting up.
And then going for the Swanton.
And then Swanton bomb.
And then I do actually kind of cut it more properly, if you will.
What is going on here?
But Kevin Nash with, I want to say, Randy Orton and Bret Hart in a new version of the NWO. Cena gets out of the ring, attacking, or letting this new NWO attack Jeff Hardy and knock him out. Oh, whoops. I don't know why. Oh, because the message got cut off. What really happened was ignoring a bit at the end with me on camera. Because that doesn't really matter. Orton was supposed to grab a mic and have his message be that John Cena has betrayed Raw and joined the NWO and is helping Nitro. And again, that's like the only kind of bit of praise I can give this episode is just that I rolled with a heel John Cena when it seemed like WWE would never do it, and not a lot of people were doing it in universe modes. Or if they did do it, it wasn't full-blown heel, you know? It was kind of like tweener status. But yeah, that's the only tiny little bit of praise I can give this. Like I said, this was the only thing that really mattered. I didn't even show the rematch between T.S. and Kurt Angle, despite them having a, again, pretty good match in the first episode of Raw's War. And then, yeah, Cena, Jeff Hardy. Jeff gets beaten down by this new NWO, which Cena joins. And then we'll go here.
The following broadcast of WCW Monday Nitro has been brought to you by the New World Order.
I still kind of like that. I still kind of like that, though. Like, that's kind of like... It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and it wouldn't work unless you were doing something with, like, the NWO, but I don't know, I kind of like that. Just like, yeah, it worked. My delivery could have been better, but yeah, that I'm not necessarily mad at. Now, I know DDP and Booker T. I actually had more of a proper episode of Nitro here. Don't ask why I had a proper episode of Nitro after the invasions. When, like, I don't know. I could have swore... So, did I not... No, I absolutely did. Might just have to watch it a bit. Because I know I put in some sort of... John Cena actually explains. It's a graphic that I made with text on it. Okay, let's see. So John Cena's interview. For 10 years, I've been the good guy, I've done the right things, but you people have decided to boo me. Now I would give you a reason to boo me. From this point forward, I'm a part of the NWO. It's very basic, he didn't say a whole lot, but, I mean, it's just... You people turned your back on me. So I'm not looking out for you anymore. You know, something like that. Yeah. Whatever. It's fine. It's not perfect by any means, but it'll do. The DDP Booker T match doesn't really matter, and then the only thing that matters is Daniel Bryan versus... Oh, fuck. Daniel Bryan versus Bret Hart. John Cena comes out in a terrible NWO attire. I like just put him in all black, honestly. And I called him the prototype. Oh my god. His attire is awful. I didn't even put a logo on there. He still has the Never Give Up towel, which doesn't make sense. And I called him the prototype. Oh my god, dude. This is even worse than I thought. So, okay. Oh, I did put the NWO letters, but that's it. And then Dolph Ziggler from Velocity comes out and saves Bryan because, like, I knew I needed to have Velocity involved in some way, and they hadn't been involved at all. And it's like, oh, hey, I could see Ziggler and Bryan being friends. Let's have Ziggler make the save. And then he doesn't even complete his entrance to the ring. Just gets in his face. The Stone Cold middle fingers. Zigzag. Woohoo, baby. Fuck. This is worse than I thought it was. This is worse than I thought it was. And then this little guy here is, I went back to 2K14 because they, of course, removed Story Designer, even from the past gen games. And did a little thing here with, of course, my character who was supposed to be the GM of Raw. You know, when I wasn't attacking people on SmackDown. But no, they're totally different people, but we have the same name. So yeah, I just, like, Vince, you have to have some power left. This is your company. And I want bragging rights to mean everything. I want everyone to go all in. And Vince is saying, you got it. Go talk to Bischoff. Because, bruh. And then here's the little thing with that. It's like, Eric, you want WCW to rule the world? Let's go all in at bragging rights. And I better stop saying all in before AEW fucking sues me. Copyright strike. Nah. Probably not. At bragging rights, let's have Raw versus Velocity versus Nitro. The show with the most victories at the end of the night will get to decide what the WWE looks like from now on. Yeah! Admittedly, I don't think that concept is bad. I think you could. There's some promise there, but everything else surrounding it, it's like you have like these very tiny little bits of good mixed in with all the shit, and it's just like, well, no one's gonna take the little bits of good because they don't want to go through all this shit first. Yeah, it's awful. Like I said, it's terrible. I was not anywhere near a good enough booker at the time to be like, yeah, I can do this. No. Fuck no. Like I said, there were some good things about it, though. Like, I like the concept. And I think you could roll with something like that in, like, a serious universe with, like, multiple GMs or owners or whatever. And be like, look, this can't go on anymore. This pay-per-view, let's go all in. You versus me. The winning brand, or the brand with the most wins, decides what WWE looks like from now on, or whatever company or whatever, you know. Again, I think there's some promise there, but, like, yeah. like I said, again, this episode didn't matter. It didn't. It was just a way for me to essentially announce that bragging rights would be happening. And the entire show will be nothing but triple threat matches. Nothing but triple threat matches, and oh god. And like, some of the triple threat matches, don't get me wrong, they're fine. There'd be good triple threat matches, but like the entire pay-per-view, nothing but triple threat matches. And Jesus Christ, like, I don't, it's awful. That's all I can say, is it's awful. Yeah, I don't know. Again, nothing really happens. We show one match, then I literally got sick of it. It simulated the rest of them, and then said, oh, and I got lucky in the simulation. Nitro lost. Raw technically won, and yeah. The entire thing was awful, and I guess the biggest takeaway from it is there were tiny little bits of good things sprinkled in this entire 2-week story that was supposed to be a month, and then 2 weeks later, there's 2 weeks that are gone from the calendar. There are little bits of good sprinkled in there, but you have to wallow through all this shit first and foremost to get those little bits of good, and it's just not worth it. And I knew it at the time too. I knew the idea was stupid. That's why I fast-tracked to the pay-per-view and brought everything back how it was. And then just pretended like the second month of Universe just didn't exist. And it wouldn't exist if I wasn't just too fucking stubborn just to, at the time, upload the pay-per-view in multiple parts. Even if I didn't actually edit the shit together, I could have literally just taken each separate video, because I recorded each match individually, not in one part anyway. So, just upload the matches just like that. It would have been fine, and we wouldn't have had to deal with this bullshit story that's just awful. And just, it's got plot holes and contrivances, and just, it's something that makes everything even more difficult to analyze, you know? It's just awful. But I'm done shitting on past me and how I booked this. I'm done. That was the crappy invasion story, and on the next episode of Universe Reactions, we'll get back to everything being back to normal, plus, as you can see, NXT being a thing, and we'll roll with it from there. But until next time, I'll see you later. Bye, guys.